Okay, so that's the end of this section. Now I'm going to use, I was going to present it as a thing, but I think I'm just going to go right into Matrix and show you how to use Matrix to get your progress material that you need. Just take a minute to come up as usual. Oh, it's funny, it's when, I mean, I got computers when they're really slow, and you would still hang in and wait for things and be interested. And then as soon as you get a faster computer and go back to the slower one, it seems like, oh, you're waiting forever. And then it goes on, we've gone through so many different computer changes. You know, I still have pilot computers in my place, like with different systems on it, from, oh, geez, XP, System 7. I'm on 8.1, I haven't got up to 10 yet. But, oh, let's, come on, what's happening? Coming up. Oh, Mercury's retrograde. Okay, let's go. Come on. This. Okay, good. Here we are. Okay, now I got set up for my chart already. So we have your chart on here. I'm just going to put this off here a little bit for a minute. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. That's just most of my chart, mostly all the different things on it. But okay, so you see your screen. There's different things you can do with progressions, and the first thing, let's see, what am I going to go first? 1 second, just bear with me for a second. Okay. Okay, the first thing, it's a little off track. It's a little secondary thing, just break up the pattern. I could teach it last, but I'll do it right now because it's one of the easier things to get to. You're in your main Windows thing, you go up to this extras. On the top, there's these categories, there's extras, and you go to graphic ephemeris. The graphic ephemeris will come up, and you go to File, New Ephemeris. You see the new ephemeris. Now you have all these options. And we're going to do we're not doing a 1 year. This is a 45-year graph. It takes planets and runs 45 degrees, like you'll see on this. Okay, can't do it just yet. I'll show you in a second. But we don't want we want the 45 degree ephemeris, but we don't 1 year. We want a 90-year. Where are we here? Progressions, 10 years, 75 years progressions. And we want that, and we're starting from my birth year, going up to 2021, and I would change it here to make it 100 years. I'll make it to 2046. So we're going to see, it says we've selected, we've highlighted, we scrolled down here to get 75 years progressions. Clicked on it to start. So I'm going to change this to 100 years. Okay, I don't know if I have to change it here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we've got 100 years, 100-year ephemeris. Okay, now, this is just a unique thing. It's a little break between what we're doing. But you can click on what planets you want. Here is Sun, Moon, Ascended, Neptune, and I would click on the nodes, Ascended, and the midheaven. But you see here the dial says 360. We don't want 360. We want 45. 45 gives you all the squares, conjunctions, and the semi-squares and 135-degree aspects. So we choose the planets. You can add asteroids, other things if you want, but this is what we work with. 45 degrees, and then we go to style. I think I usually keep it here, but we can put it, that's good enough. You can put it up higher and see what they do, but they're just more accurate and they're a bit bigger, and they take up more space for printout or whatever. It's unfortunately set for a Coke system, but we're set to Placid system, True Node, and here you set it for your birthplace. And now I have mine already set up for it, but normally you might have to go to the Atlas. The Atlas comes up, you put in your city and country. You do the search, and when you get the Atlas, it'll come up and it'll put it in here. Okay. In fact, it's not correct for mine. Let's just do that. I'll go here to Montreal. Montreal, okay. And that's it. Okay. So Eastern Standard Time was, and so that was the, we're on the calculation options. So true node, Placidus. So I go to the natal chart. It has my natal chart. What plots, positions do I want to plot from my natal chart? I want the ascendant and midheaven with the others to be plotted in with this. Okay, so we got the calc option, the natal chart. Here you can choose other people's charts. It doesn't have to be just your chart. You can go in and choose any new chart from this. Here we go to a new chart that comes up, and either there or you can look it up. You know, like they have lists. I got thousands in here. So, okay. So we got this. And we got this. They were looking at 75. We click on it, and we get a 75-year progress chart. Now, I usually print things out to progression to a PDF file, and then blow up the PDF file, and then I can mark it up. But what this graph does, all the curved lines are the movements. The straight lines across are the positions on the natal chart, and they're marked on the right-hand side. My Mercury and Pluto right there, square to each other. The two lines go across, and the sun is here. The sun is about here, goes across. There's a broken line going across for all your natal positions. But starting from here, everything starts at this natal position. But the moving lines, as you're going from left to right, are the 100 years. That's how much in 100 days these planets move. So I'm looking at Venus here. Okay, how this works, it's 45 degrees, but the first 30 degrees is their cardinal signs. 1 to 30, any planet in that degree gets marked in that degree, and the line goes across. Then there's blank, but then the fixed signs go from 1 to 15 down here, and from 16 up to 30 on the top part of this graph. And the mutable signs go from this position, 16 degrees down to 45 degrees. That's how the zodiac repeats on this. So it's looped the zodiac 3 times, but it makes this graph. And anytime these moving lines are like this, I'm just pointing to Venus in Sag. It's moving along, goes down, goes retrograde, goes up, it's going retrograde, it goes direct, moves forward, and comes down. That's my life, that's my progressions. And anytime any line, and Mercury, if I look at Mercury down at the bottom, it cuts right down quickly, starts up top again, comes down, and you see where Mercury goes retrograde here, just changes direction, goes direct, changes direction, and goes on. The progressed sun just going straight. Here's the sun, comes there, goes up to the top, comes down, goes up to the top, comes down. That's what I'm saying. This is the progressions, the whole flow of them. If you look at Neptune, here's Neptune, it just moves this little bit. 2 degrees across my life. We look at Jupiter, moves a little bit more. There's Jupiter's movement. You can see the movements, okay? And Pluto hardly moves at all, just moving a little tiny bit around. So you see them all. And whenever lines touch, whenever the moving lines touch each other, in the progressed chart, there's a conjunction square, opposition, 45 or 135 degrees. It's just a stressful aspect. Okay, whenever they change, it goes up or down, it's going retrograde or direct. Retrograde, you see the changes. Whenever lines touch, there's an aspect. Whenever these lines touch the broken lines, it's making an aspect to our natal chart. So this is called a 45-degree wheel. It's used a lot by NCGR, and it's used a lot in the States. It came from Germany. But for the graph, I like this. It gives you a year graph, and I would mark up when they touched and when they went in, and then you can go on this. Is it there? The dates are on it. Yeah, you can see, okay, when did that happen? Goes there, puts it up to the date in the calendar year. So you even see your years here, but here it says December 16th, 67. I want to follow this along a bit further. I take the line over. When did it hit my, not that one, what do I want? Let's see when this one came between my progressed ascendant and the Mercury, and it hit my ascendant and my moon. It all came together there, 2006. So you can follow these along and start, like you can use this to follow it. So this is a graphic thing. It's fun to play with. I just thought I wanted you to know it's a little breakup between going in. But this we got. I go in and I print them out and then I highlight them with colors. We got this by going up to extras, down to graphic ephemeras, And in the graphic ephemeris, we went to new ephemeris. We went down in the new ephemeris down to 75 years of progressions. And you can do these for 1 year at a time to see the transits. It's kind of fun to play around with this if you want, but it's not. It's just extra. What we're doing is simpler than this. It works, but in the progressions, you're seeing a whole lifetime. So it's kind of, we went there, we went through each of these categories to highlight whose chart, the house that we changed the factors that we wanted, then we ran it, and we got the, see this graph that you're seeing doesn't have any lines in it. It just has the transit, has the yearly thing. When we change it, and we went okay to it, it puts in the progress ones. It didn't have, anyways, I didn't put the right years in, so just had it like this. This includes the moon. But this is how we work with it. That's from the extras to the graphic ephemeris. Now, that doesn't give you the exact dates the way we want them. We got to get all the dates and all, when planets change signs, when they make the aspects, when they're going through houses, we got to get all that dates so we can put it on the graphic that we're going to need. And so we know when they're happening anyways. So for this, we have to go to the, oh no, there's one other thing of how to get charts out of this. Okay, progress charts. We get to the extended. Okay, so I just follow this through. I do have a structure here. No, I don't. Now I'm working without the structure. Okay, so up in this extended part, we have a classics chart. We go up to the extended area. This is WinStar Pro 6 or any of the pros who should have this. And it has an extended point. Again, you can set up the colors for signs and that, but it gives you the color chart with the aspects in it and the degrees of the planets. Now, once you're in this chart, you have to make sure you're on the chart, not on the progress things or that, but just on the, from your natal chart. Then you go into this first tab and you go down to secondary charts and put progress chart, hit on the progress charts. So we're in the extended, we have the natal chart showing, we're going into this number 2, just underneath my birth data says number transit chart there, but we're going in and we're going to change it to secondary charts, progress chart. Not progressions, because that's just because of chart. This is your secondary progress chart. This is the one we want. We click on here and you get the progress date, progress chart. You can name it if you want to come up with a name. I just leave it like that. It does it for today, for now, for the time of progressions for this moment. So then I click OK. And you see the progress chart comes in here. I could lock it in here if I'm going to work it for a while. And then on the next chart, we can put it down, go down to secondary charts, transit chart, and does the transits. And we can change the place depending. That's Montreal. So if I change the place to Toronto, and go to the house, you change it wherever you would be. And as a solar chart, we're not going to use that at all. So we're just using these 3. It's enough information. Really, you probably should just use the 2. The progress to the natal, but once we have this, it can come up in different forms. But we have this click at this point, the button that clicks here, make sure the aspects are showing in the center. Okay, and this is the American style chart where they do that, and it doesn't allow for the aspects to be drawn in the standard American wheel. So we're using this form, this form with this set of aspects. And now if we go, these are the wheels. So if we go to here, this gives your natal chart with the progressions around it. This is a nice little wheel. And you can work on the screen with this there. You can always come back to it. There you have it. So, or you can print it out. Whenever I print it to a PDF file. And then, so I have a storage on it. Then I print the PDF file in the printer, so I have a printout of it. So I have the printout, but I also at the same time I've stored it in the file